Good evening. I'm Micah Mater.
And I'm Ray Cortopassi.
New tonight, a scheduled meeting tonight in Thornton Township canceled before it had been able to get off the ground.
In the absence of the township's 5 sitting trustees, Supervisor Tiffany Henyard's attempt at a special meeting was more of a soliloquy.
I am about to address some things as the supervisor.
Breaking this morning, 3 lawsuits just announced against controversial suburban Mayor Tiffany Henyard. The plaintiffs, they are all former employees of Thornton Township and the village of Dalton.
Yeah, we've been reporting for nearly 2 years on allegations of corruption surrounding Henyard in her capacity as Dalton mayor and Thornton Township supervisor. And now we've learned from multiple sources that federal agents are in fact.
Tiffany Henyard liked to be loud and proclaim herself a super mayor until all her crimes were exposed, and she turned out to be a nightmare for Dalton residents. If anything, she's more of a thug than anything else, considering her track record includes embezzlement, threats, and fraud. So what did the FBI find in her house? And is it going to put her away for good? Let's start with what exactly is going down in the small village of Dalton. Let's start with the introduction. Tiffany Henyard is known for being the mayor of Dalton. Except that's not the only position. She's also the supervisor of Thornton Township. And tiny town was left overturned when allegations came out about how the so-called super mayor ran the streets like a gangster.
Henyard actually has 2 political jobs on 2 public payrolls, as mayor of South Suburban Dalton, or as she calls herself, super mayor, and supervisor of Thornton Township, where she makes over $200,000 a year. Now, before Henyard's election in 2021, Dalton was like any other suburban community with festivals, parades, and its share of problems. But today, Dalton is known more for the mayor herself and the never-ending allegations that she's used and abused her 2 offices at Dalton and Thornton Township for pricey security details, trips to Vegas, unmissable highway billboards, and the curious donation of township tax dollars to a cancer charity named for, you guessed it, Mayor Henyard.
Let's start with the first red flag. Tiffany Henyard already had a rocky foundation, and her sneaky moves started gaining attention when she started her own breast cancer charity, the T.I. Henyard Cars Foundation. There were hefty donations made from taxpayer money, and her former Thornton chief of staff, whom she fired, tracked credit card payments to reveal that Henyard was spending thousands of dollars on hotel rooms and the like.
Godly now! We in Bloomington, baby!
I can pretty much map out their entire Springfield trip on the township credit cards.
That's right, Henyard billed thousands of dollars in hotel rooms and meals during the trip to Thornton Township and Dalton credit cards. In addition, the videos show Henyard used multiple village and township vehicles owned by taxpayers to escort the caravan, including a flatbed trailer with a photographer, flying a drone, and a DJ.
We got our mayor right here coming from Dalton, Illinois, walking all the way to Springfield.
Yeah.
Y'all make some noise for our mayor, the people's mayor.
But they didn't always walk.
We on motorbikes, baby.
At times, riding electric bikes.
Yeah, I see my bike.
Our township
Supervisor.
It looks like a misspending of tax funds. I think that's the biggest.
She even sold merchandise like t-shirts and hoodies, which were also conveniently ordered by the Thornton Township. And she seemed pretty reluctant to talk about the charity when questioned directly.
And the board vote to give your foundation $10,000.
I'm the face of the foundation. My name is Nowhere, sir.
Say again?
I'm the face.
You're the face. What was the purpose of going to Springfield?
Thank you, guys. Hey, she doesn't have any more comments,
No,
guys.
we're going to talk.
She doesn't have any more comments. Thanks, guys.
That's Keith Freeman, whom Henyard hired at both Dalton and Thornton Township and was part of her Springfield walk.
Look at Keith.
Also used the township money to print out and rent giant billboards with her face on them, something that is essentially illegal because she was promoting herself politically with public money.
Chicago political consultant Delmarie Cobb says there would be nothing wrong if Henyard were using her own political funds for those promotional materials, especially the billboards.
I actually had a candidate years ago who was running for mayor of Dalton, and that's what we did. We bought billboards along the expressway because if you're coming and going home all day, and one of the things I always say about billboards is they're working when you're asleep.
In 2011, state lawmakers passed a law banning the practice of politicians putting their their names on publicly funded signs, spurred by these tollway signs featuring former Governor Rod Blagojevich. That law does not extend to mayors or other elected officials, but election attorney Odelson believes the billboards do violate state election laws.
It's a crime. Yeah, you're using public funds for something that taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used for.
And just when you think you've seen it all, take a look at the...
Next up, there's her circle of thugs, or as she calls them, her security detail. Her assembly began soon after she was appointed mayor, and she handpicked officers to protect her day and night. And these people were also making thousands of dollars in overtime.
Of Officer Terry Young last May, 303 hours worked over a 2-week period. That resulted in a single paycheck of more than $13,000.
How? How does a person put in a 2-week pay period, 303 hours? That's impossible. That's impossible.
There's 336
Does he never
hours.
go to sleep?
In fact, there are 336 hours total in 2 weeks, meaning Young was not being paid for only 33 hours over that period. Other officers on the security detail are also racking up overtime paychecks in the multiple thousands of dollars. Mayor, mind if I ask you a couple questions about your security detail?
Absolutely not.
I'm asking her.
Yeah, she said.
Of course, Tiffany was pretty insistent that the detail was warranted because of threats and other things of that nature. Except people later noticed that the security team was also present with her on out-of-town trips. As one of her citizens said, it was embarrassing because you don't see the governor with a detail.
Your critics say that you have a significant security detail. First of all, how large is your police department in Dalton, and what is your security detail?
So we have about 45 officers in our village. My security is warranted due to the fact of threats and things of that nature, but what people are not stating is it's in our CBA. That's our collective bargaining agreement. That's our union contract. So it comes with the seat. That's what people are not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say, I want...
Also fired the police chief because he took issue with her excessive demands.